Good morning. This is the Paradise Unicorn Priestess bringing you day 159 of A Course in Miracles, the Yin translation, where we use female words. This would be June 8th if you're starting at the new year. Sin versus error. It is essential that error not be confused with sin, and it is this distinction that makes salvation possible. For error can be corrected, and the wrong made right. But sin, were it possible, would be irreversible. The belief in sin is necessarily based on the firm conviction that minds, not bodies, can attack, and thus the mind is guilty and will forever so remain, unless a mind not part of it can give it absolution. Sin calls for punishment as error for correction, and the belief that punishment is correction is clearly insane. Sin is not an error, for sin entails an arrogance, which the idea of error lacks. To sin would be to violate reality and to succeed. Sin is the proclamation that attack is real and guilt is justified. It assumes the child of God is guilty, and has thus succeeded in losing her innocence and making herself what God created not. Thus is creation seen as not eternal, and the will of God open to opposition and defeat. Sin is the grand illusion underlying all the ego's grandiosity. For by it, God herself is changed and rendered incomplete. The child of God can be mistaken, she can deceive herself, she can even turn the power of her mind against herself. But she cannot sin. There is nothing she can do that would really change her reality in any way, nor make her really guilty. That is what sin would do, for such is its purpose. Yet for all the wild insanity inherent in the whole idea of sin, it is impossible. For the wages of sin is death, and how can the immortal die? A major tenet in the ego's insane religion is that sin is not error but truth, and it is innocence that would deceive. Purity is seen as arrogance, and the acceptance of the self as sinful is perceived as holiness. And it is this doctrine that replaces the reality of the child of God as her mother created her and willed that she be forever. Is this humility, or is it rather an attempt to wrest creation away from truth and keep it separate? Any attempt to reinterpret sin as error is always indefensible to the ego. The idea of sin is wholly sacrosanct to its thought system, and quite unapproachable except with reverence and awe. It is the most holy concept in the ego system, lovely and powerful, wholly true, and necessarily protected with every defense at its disposal. For here lies its best defense, which all the others serve. Here is its armor, its protection, and the fundamental purpose of the special relationship in its interpretation. It can indeed be said the ego made its world on sin. Only in such a world could everything be upside down. This is the strange illusion that makes the clouds of guilt seem heavy and impenetrable. The solidness that this world's foundation seems to have is found in this. For sin has changed creation from an idea of God to an ideal the ego wants. A world it rules, made up of bodies, mindless and capable of complete corruption and decay. If this is a mistake, it can be undone easily by truth. Any mistake can be corrected if truth be left to judge it. But if the mistake is given the status of truth, to what can it be brought? The holiness of sin is kept in place by just this strange device. As truth, it is inviolate, and everything is brought to it for judgment. As a mistake, it must be brought to truth. It is impossible to have faith in sin, for sin is faithlessness. Yet it is possible to have faith that a mistake can be corrected. There is no stone in all the ego's embattled citadel that is more heavily defended than the idea that sin is real, the natural expression of what the child of God has made herself to be and what she is. To the ego, this is no mistake, for this is its reality. This is the truth from which escape will always be impossible. This is her past, her present, and her future, for she has somehow managed to corrupt her mother and change her mind completely. Mourn then the death of God whom sin has killed, and this would be the ego's wish, which in its madness it believes it has accomplished. Would you not rather that all this be nothing more than a mistake, entirely correctable, and so easily escaped from that its whole correction is like walking through a mist into the sun? For that is all it is. Perhaps you would be tempted to agree with the ego that it is far better to be sinful than mistaken. Yet you think carefully before you allow yourself to make this choice. Approach it not lightly, for it is the choice of hell or heaven. We have the age-old question, would you rather be right or happy? A Course in Miracles teaches A, you are always wrong, and B, when you really get that, you can always be happy. Always, without exception. All right, lesson 159. I give the miracles I have received. No one can give what she has not received. To give a thing requires first you have it in your own possession. Here the laws of heaven and the world agree. But here they also separate. The world believes that to possess a thing it must be kept. Salvation teaches otherwise. To give is how to recognize you have received. It is the proof that what you have is yours. You understand that you are healed when you give healing. You accept forgiveness as accomplished in yourself when you forgive. You recognize your sister as yourself, and thus do you perceive that you are whole. There is no miracle you cannot give, for all are given you. Receive them now by opening the storehouse of your mind where they are laid and giving them away. Christ's vision is a miracle. It comes from far beyond itself, for it reflects eternal love and the rebirth of love which never dies, but has been kept obscure. Christ's vision pictures heaven, for it sees a world so like to heaven that what God created perfect can be mirrored there. The darkened glass the world presents can show but twisted images in broken parts. The real world pictures heaven's innocence. Christ's vision is the miracle in which all miracles are born. It is their source, remaining with each miracle you give, and yet remaining yours. It is the bond by which the giver and receiver are united in extension here on earth, as they are one in heaven. Christ beholds no sin in anyone, and in her sight the sinless are as one. Their holiness was given by her mother and herself. Christ's vision is the bridge between the worlds, and in its power can you safely trust to carry you from this world into one made holy by forgiveness. Things which seem quite solid here are merely shadows there, transparent, faintly seen, at times forgot, and never able to obscure the light that shines beyond them. Holiness has been restored to vision, and the blind can see. This is the Holy Spirit's single gift, the treasure house to which you can appeal with perfect certainty for all the things that can contribute to your happiness. All are laid here already. All can be received but for the asking. Here the door is never locked, and no one is denied her least request or her most urgent need. There is no sickness not already healed, no lack unsatisfied, no need unmet within this golden treasury of Christ. Here does the world remember what was lost when it was made, for here it is repaired, made new again, but in a different light. What was to be the home of sin becomes the center of redemption and the hearth of mercy, where the suffering are healed and welcome. No one will be turned away from this new home where her salvation waits. No one is stranger to her. No one asks for anything of her except the gift of her acceptance, of her welcoming. Christ's vision is the holy ground in which the lilies of forgiveness set their roots. This is their home. They can be brought from here back to the world, but they can never grow in its unnourishing and shallow soil. They need the light and warmth and kindly care Christ's charity provides. They need the love with which she looks on them, and they become her messengers who give as they received. Take from her storehouse, that its treasures may increase. Her lilies do not leave their home. When they are carried back into the world, their roots remain. They do not leave their source, but carry its beneficence with them and turn the world into a garden like the one they came from, and to which they go again with added fragrance. Now are they twice blessed. The messages they brought from Christ have been delivered and returned to them, and they return them gladly unto her. Behold the store of miracles set out for you to give. Are you not worth the gift when God appointed it be given you? Judge not God's child, but follow in the way she has established. Christ has dreamed the dream of a forgiven world. It is her gift, whereby a sweet transition can be made from death to life, from hopelessness to hope. Let us an instant dream with her. Her dream awakens us to the truth. Her vision gives the means for a return to our unlost and everlasting sanctity in God. I guess in order for us to see that we have everything, we have to, in faith, be willing to see everyone else as having everything. We can't have what we're not giving in our thoughts to absolutely everyone else. So even if there's someone who causes or seemingly causes us great consternation, it could be world leaders, it could be someone in politics, doesn't matter. If there's a part of us that wants to see them fail and have a bad time, how could we see paradise with that mind, with that way of thinking? We have to be willing to see everyone as being blessed and being worthy of all the sweetest blessings that we ourselves would want. That's the condition that we have to meet in order to have the vision of the real world. Seeing as that's the case, may we give the miracles we have already received so that we may see that we have them. And happy practicing.